Some hybrid builds in this game would be better off as dream concepts that typically wouldn't work well together. However, in today's video, this hybrid build setup is both fun, fast, and doesn't even need Thunder Charms to be viable.
In today's video, I'm going to go over the build for
the endgame hybrid Hydra Orb Sorceress, for whom is so cold in how she annihilates enemies that she burns, leaving nothing in her wake.
I'm going to go over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear for my character and my mercenary, and afterwards I'm going to show you guys some gameplay so you could see this build in action. But do keep in mind that when it comes to this build, there are different ways you can be able to gear the character depending on your needs, whether you're trying to go for maximum DPS, you're trying to do a magic find character, or a hybrid of the two. Just keep in mind when it comes to looking at the gear choices that I'm going to be choosing, that you can choose alternative gear depending on the demand that you have for your build. Now let's go ahead and get into the video.
For the additional stats, she has enough points into strength to be able to equip the gear, and all the remaining points go into vitality. For the skill trees, starting with the lightning spells, I put 1 point into static field, telekinesis to then unlock teleport to be able to get around easier. Moving over to the cold spells, I went ahead and maxed out Frozen Orb, as it's not only a great way to be able to slow enemies down to be able to provide crowd control, but this is going to be my left click skill to be able to deal damage. I also put 1 point into Cold Mastery to be able to get my enemy cold resistance to negative 100% to pair with the skill on my Mercenary's weapon, but I'll go over that when I go over his gear. I then went ahead and maxed out Ice Bolt as it's a synergy for Frozen Orb. I then put 1 point into Frozen Armor as it's a great 1-point wonder skill. Lastly, for the fire spells, I went ahead and maxed out Hydra as this is going to be an additional elemental source of damage, especially against anything that's going to be cold immune. I went ahead and maxed out Fire Mastery to be able to boost my fire damage. And lastly, put the remaining points into Fireball, as it's a synergy for Hydra to be able to boost its fire damage even further.
For the gear, do keep in mind that this is a hero edited character. All the items that you see here are not single self found on single player offline, nor do I play online to be able to have someone assist me with helping me get these items to then showcase in this video. I wanted to put this build together myself to be able to show if it would be worth the time and the resources needed to be able to make it effective, in case anyone would be curious to be able to build this out for themselves, and also just for the spectacle of the concept itself.
For the helm, she has a Shaco socketed with a perfect topaz. This has plus to skills, small attributes boost, life and mana based on character level, physical damage reduction, as well as magic find. The amulet is Mars for the plus to skills, boost to attributes, and all resistance. The body armor is Enigma for the plus to skills, but especially the strength based on character level. This way all the points that I otherwise would have to put into strength, I can allocate now into vitality to boost her survivability even more. This also has physical damage reduction, life after each kill, and a huge boost to magic find. The weapon is Oculus socketed with an Istrune. This is a great weapon to be able to use for a hybrid setup, as it doesn't prioritize any one particular type of elemental damage over the other. This has plus to sorcerer skill levels, faster cast rate, vitality, energy, all resistance, and magic find. The shield is the Spirit Rune Word with plus to skills, faster cast rate, vitality, mana, and cold, lightning, and poison resistance. The boots are Alder's Advance for the plus to life and fire resistance. The first ring is a rare faster cast rate, strength, fire resistance ring. The belt is Arachnid's Mesh for the plus to skills and faster cast rate. The second ring is a Ravenfrost for cannot be frozen. The gloves are Mage Fist for the plus to fire skills and faster cast rate. On switch is a staple CTA and Spirit combo to be able to boost myself with battle orders. In the inventory is the Cube, both tomes, Annie, Torch. The grand charms are fire skillers with the Geeds on the end, and the small charms are all 7% magic find small charms. For the additional stats, she has 342% magic find, she also has 115% faster cast rate, 324% to fire skill damage, as well as negative 100% to enemy cold resistance. For the Mercenary, he is the Act 2 Holy Freeze Mercenary to be able to provide a bit of extra crowd control. He's going to be using Endargo's Visage socketed with a Rao rune, Fortitude for the body armor, which is going to be paired with the Infinity Weapon for the Conviction Aura to be able to help break most immunities within this game. This way the damage from both my cold and my fire skills go even further to be able to help making farming easier all over the game.
Now that we've discussed the attributes, the skill trees, the gear for my character and my mercenary, let's go ahead and check out this build in action to see how well it actually plays out. With the gameplay, for anyone who'd be curious as to which player settings I'm using for my build guides, the past, presently on screen, and in the future, down in the bottom left corner is what the example gameplay being shown is currently at.
There are some builds that once players try them out, you realize just how much fun they can be. And as you continue playing them, you start to realize that it may become one of your mains as you don't want to stop playing it. As I was testing out this video, this build gave me that feeling, as I had never been one to focus on hybrid setups past just getting through hell difficulty, but this build exceeded my expectations. Cold immunes are difficult to break in this game, with some needing a lot of extra work either with Sunder Charms, or in using lower resistance, such as from a wand, in addition to what this build does to reduce the immunity. However, you can use a Sunder Charm and possibly pre-buff Treachery to be able to offset the negative resistance penalty. But I prefer to not use Sunder Charms if the build would allow, and not having one here didn't take away from the fun of this build. Andariel is weak to fire. This build ignites her almost instantly, and if you decide to use Frozen Orb as well, it just adds insult to injury. Cows is really fun with this build. Put down some Hydras in the center or along the outside of the cows, use Frozen Orb, and watch as they quickly become today's barbecue, with some frozen to save for another day. There's almost nothing that can give this build any issues. With considerable damage from both cold and fire elemental sources, once you enter an area, it quickly gets cleared and you're able to farm even the largest places within the game very fast. This is such a fun hybrid build. She has the damage, magic find, and faster cast rate that caster players look for in a fun farming build. And if you haven't yet given it a try, you owe it to yourself to do so. However, this is an endgame setup, and I know that it can be very expensive, but luckily, the budgeted version is still very fast, has good clear speed, and is relatively cheap to make. For those who want to check it out, watch my budget hybrid Hydra Orb Sorceress build guide, a fun alternative that doesn't break the bank, but still blazes trails and freezes any chance of hell spawning within Sanctuary. The video will be linked down in the description below.
And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to see if this build would be something that you would be interested in going into the future, and if anything, at least just enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content, want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on, then. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.